I know quite a number of persons who are getting very ill of late. So in today's edition of Jamaica Magazine, we have some information on managing the cold and flu. Hi, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Welcome. You'll want to stick around for that and a lot more. After the break, Stacey Ann Smith has the news.
Mr. Shirley, me get the invitation from America. What?
You know a passport?
A passport is one of the most important forms of...
Here at PICA, we believe in excellent customer service. So when we wanted our customers to know about us, we approached the GIS and they delivered, and we got excellent value for money. And so we encourage you to go to the GIS, a one-stop shop for media services. They have print, radio, television, and so much more.
Good day, I'm Stacey Ann Smith, and this is your GIS News for Tuesday, March 18. Government is continuing the process of fiscal consolidation to ensure that Jamaica stays on track with the plan to reduce the national debt. Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips has announced that by the end of this fiscal year, Jamaica's debt to GDP ratio will come down from 147 to 139%. The goal is to have a debt to GDP ratio of between 95 and 100% by 2020 and 60% by fiscal year 2025-26.
High levels of debt eliminate a capital budget, which is essential for growth. High levels of debt become a deterrent to investment, both domestic and foreign.
Dr. Phillips was speaking at a recent breakfast forum hosted by the Jamaica Exporters Association. Legislation to enable the adoption of fiscal rules is expected to be passed this month and will allow Parliament to better manage the country's financial affairs and promote transparency. 7 special education institutions will be better able to cater to the needs of their students through the acquisition of computer-related equipment. This follows the signing of a contract between the E-Learning Jamaica Company Limited and the Center for Disability Studies at the University of the West Indies, UWI Mona. Under the contract, the UWI's Center for Disability Studies will buy and distribute the equipment to the schools. Funding will come from E-Learning Jamaica.
This contract is valued at about 33 million Jamaican dollars. All geared towards providing equipment and special facilities for those of our community who are disabled.
The contract will facilitate training as well as the purchasing of braille machines, videos and software for the blind and the deaf. Learning institutions such as the Salvation Army School for the Blind and the Danny Williams School for the Deaf will benefit from the project. Meanwhile, 250 persons with disabilities who are on the Program of Advancement through Health and Education PATH are soon to get training to develop their employability skills. They are among 500 individuals whose training will be facilitated under the Labour and Social Security Ministry's Social and Economic Inclusion of Persons with Disabilities project. A contract was recently signed with 7 entities to provide consultancy services for the initiative.
Vocational and job skills training and certification, job coaching and employment readiness training, apprenticeship and on-the-job training, and organizational strengthening.
This component of the project will be executed at a cost of about 61.3 million Jamaican dollars. Total project cost is $2.9 million US, and it's funded by the Japanese government and the World Bank. Education Minister Reverend Ronald Thwaite says the administration will continue to review how mathematics is taught in schools to improve the country's performance in the subject. He says the matter of teacher qualification is one of the issues to be addressed.
Some of our teachers are very, very good, but the truth is that many of our teachers do not have the basic qualifications in mathematics themselves. I say this not to embarrass anybody, but as an invitation, because the Ministry of Education wants every teacher of mathematics to upgrade themselves, and we will help you with the appropriate workshops and additional courses
The minister was addressing the more than 6,000 students and teachers who participated in the second staging of the ministry's National Mathematics Exposition recently. A creative video competition on the Jamaica Logistics Hub initiative is to be launched soon. Persons will be invited to produce and submit a 2-minute video about the logistics hub. Industry, Investment and Commerce Minister Anthony Hilton says the competition will cover several categories, including animation, drama, music, and spoken word.
All of these initiatives are designed to engage the population at various levels as we deepen the discourse and outreach in relation to the logistics hub.
And finally, media practitioners are being encouraged to play a greater role in helping government to communicate the message of labour productivity to the nation. Labour Minister Derek Kelly says, given the importance of increasing workforce productivity to national growth, the partnership is critical.
For the productivity revolution to succeed, all stakeholders must be on board, since no single entity or organization can create and sustain the productivity movement by itself. The message of its benefits must be communicated to the Jamaican people at all levels.
Minister Kelly was speaking at a recent productivity workshop for reporters held under the theme Advancing the Productivity Revolution. And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Stacey Ann Smith. Thank you for watching.
What are you doing to help the fight against crime?
Sitting on the corner, minding your own business, definitely not going to work.
It is time for us to unite.
Unite. Unite for change.
Citizens coming together to make their respective communities safer. The police, schools, public health, business, churches, NGOs, parents and neighborhood watch volunteers.
As we, the police, do our job,
we as citizens need to do our part as well.
Report crimes or even suspicious activities.
Let's all work together
as one united front against crime.
And make Jamaica the place of choice to
live, work, raise families, and do business.
Unite for Change, an initiative of the Ministry of National Security.
I don't know about you, but lately every other person I come across has the flu. While the government, through its numerous public health facilities, plays its part in tackling this, we too must know how to take care of our health. Get better educated on dealing with the flu and cold in today's HealthWise.
Doctors say there's little or no escape from contracting the common cold and influenza, better known as flu. Each year, many adults and children are affected by these illnesses. They say when the viruses that cause flu and cold enter the body cells, they reproduce within these cells.
The flu is caused by a serious virus called influenza. There are two strains, influenza A and influenza B. The cold is caused by lesser viruses like respiratory syncytial virus, etc. But the flu, there is two different league of viruses. The flu virus is definitely more dangerous than the cold virus.
Experts say the viruses that cause colds and flu are transmitted from one person to another through the air. You can also contract the viruses by shaking hands or touching infected persons or objects which infected persons have touched. You could also pick up colds and flu when you are close to an infected person who is coughing or sneezing. Cold viruses, researchers say, can live for 2 or 3 days on hard surfaces such as computer keyboards, doorknobs, telephones, and hard toys, while flu viruses cannot survive long outside the body. They also say people get colds and flu more often in the winter than the summer, and children are at greater risk of getting the viruses. Although in Jamaica we do not have winters, the colder months are usually November, December, and January. Medical experts say while influenza tends to be seasonal, colds occur year-round. When you get a cold, a virus infects cells in your nose and sinuses and make them swell. The cells react by producing mucus, which sometimes runs out of your nose, clogs it up, or makes you sneeze. In most cases, colds last 3 to 4 days. However, doctors say sometimes colds may be followed by secondary infections.
The flu and the cold are really viruses, but frequently behind that comes a bacterial infection, and the two particular bacteria that cause problems is Streptococcus pneumonia, and Staphylococcus aureus. Those are the two things that cause the so-called secondary infection, which are more devastating in terms of the presentation than just the viral infection.
Doctors say flu viruses damage the respiratory or breathing system more than cold viruses. Flu starts in your nose or throat and may spread to your airways and lungs. Flu viruses often last longer than cold viruses, and the symptoms and duration vary from person to person. Experts say the worst thing about the flu is that, like colds, it can cause a secondary infection, which could be deadly, particularly among older people or those with serious health problems.
The flu is serious for all population of people, more so for the young, for the children and for the elderly. But remember now, of all the things that have killed people in the world, none has killed more people, not even the world wars, than the flu. At the turn of the century, about the early 1900s, we had the Spanish flu, which killed about 8 million people. In the 60s, we had the Hong Kong flu, which killed about 2 to 3 million people. And more recently, the next big pandemic was in North America, where they had the swine flu, which killed almost 1 million people. So you see, combined, the flu has killed more people worldwide than all the world wars combined.
The symptoms of colds include coughing and sneezing, running nose and sore throat, headache and low fever. Some of the symptoms of flu are dry cough with significant pain in the chest, severe headache and fatigue, sneezing, running nose and sore throat, variations in body temperature from normal to high fevers, and aching muscles. While you can't always avoid getting a cold or flu, you can reduce your risk by doing the following. Keep germs away from your surroundings by washing your hands often, especially during the cold season, to get rid of any viruses you might have picked up. Don't touch anything a person with a cold or flu has touched. Wipe areas such as doorknobs, counters, phones, and hard toys regularly with disinfectant to prevent the virus from lurking on those surfaces. Keep your hands away from eyes and nose, the main places where viruses can get into your body. Try to stay away from people who are sneezing or coughing. When you have the flu or a cold, blow your nose on paper tissue, not cloth handkerchiefs. Cold germs could stay on cloth hankies until you wash them. Cover your mouth when you sneeze or cough, and then wash your hands.
Did you know regular physical activity controls your weight, reduces your risk of cardiovascular diseases, reduces your risk for type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome, reduces your risk of some cancers, strengthens your bones and muscles, and increases your chance of living longer? Get active, get fit, stay healthy.
Musicians, users of music instruments, if you're a registered member of the Jamaica Federation of Musicians or the Recording Industry of Jamaica, you may apply for a waiver of duty on the importation of music equipment. You'll need to submit the following: a letter of request to the Film Commission or Creative Industries Unit and a pro forma invoice detailing the items being imported with corresponding serial numbers and costs. Jamaica Promotions Corporation JAMPRO will submit the documents to the Ministry of Finance for approval. You must get approval before the items arrive. For more information on the Music Tools of Trade incentive, click on the Tourism and Entertainment Ministry's website at mot.gov.jm or call the Ministry's Entertainment Division at 920-4926-30.
This ERP Stakeholders Conference is the first of two major fora aimed at updating a broad cross-section of the nation on the government's economic reform program. The participants have come from the counties of Middlesex, Surrey, and from a wide range of organizations and groups: national, community, private sector, government, and non-government organizations. Whilst government has to lead by way of its three generic roles of enabling, facilitating, and servicing, the country needs all hands on deck to get it where it wants to and must go. My administration entered into this agreement fully aware of the drastic measures which had to be taken to address the problem of our unsustainable debt to GDP ratio and to stabilize our balance of payments situation.
And we cannot approach that task with any hope of success unless we are able to be absolutely candid, absolutely open, and indeed all focused on the same objective as a country. And it is also important that we recognize that there is no short-term solution to the problem. The second main objective of the program is to achieve growth, to raise the real level of growth of the gross domestic product, so that over time we can answer and meet the legitimate expectations of the Jamaican people for jobs, for an improved quality of life, which has eluded us for many decades.
By March of next year, too, we would have advanced the comprehensive tax reform agenda, which is intended to generally reduce taxes across the board and induce growth.
A number of our students who have completed their tertiary education and who seek funding through the Students' Loan Bureau have been experiencing numerous challenges. Some of us can't find work, and even if some of us do find work, it's a difficulty in meeting our daily needs. So my question is there any plans in the short term to lower the interest rate of the Students' Loan Bureau?
We certainly are prepared to look at the interest rate profile for the Student Loan Bureau. We are looking at ways in which we can induce, incentivize greater participation from private financial institutions in providing educational loans. Yes, among the options we're looking at is the affordability of interest rates.
I have a concern. Business people today are very challenged with the current economic environment. And as it stands, manufacturers are still facing numerous difficulties on a daily basis, accessing their foreign exchange to pay their overseas suppliers. What is being done from the banking side to be able to assist manufacturers to carry on their businesses.
It's well understood that there are challenges in meeting foreign exchange, and let's just remind us all that we are running a very substantial current account deficit in the balance of payments, which means that we are actually buying more than we are selling. And so we have to find money to meet that gap. What was described by the questioner is effectively rationing of foreign exchange. There is no good reason for any dealer to be rationing foreign exchange. There is a competitive market. There are many, many participants. In that context, I would urge persons facing this to seek as many other participants who might sell them foreign exchange and maximize your opportunities there.
We have an enormous task on our hands to reduce the debt, secure economic growth, and protect the vulnerable. However, none of those three objectives can be attained unless those who carry the full weight of the adjustment burden have hope that actions are being taken in their interest. With your support, I have every confidence that as a united country, we shall overcome our challenges.
Strong families are important to the development of our society, and the National Family Planning Board wants you to be healthy and achieve your goals. Make the right reproductive health choices. Help eradicate poverty, improve maternal health, and reduce child death by avoiding unintended pregnancies. Waiting until you're financially, physically, and emotionally mature to become a mother. And protecting against diseases such as HIV and AIDS. Exercise your right to plan stable families for the future, being mindful that children need nurturing environments for proper growth and development. Consider your health, the timing, spacing, and number of children as you plan. Be empowered. Contact the National Family Planning Board at 5 Sylvan Avenue, Kingston 5, P.O. Box 287. Telephone 968-1627 or visit them online at www.jnfpb.com.
How fitting that song is. As we continue to celebrate Women's Month, we shed a bit of spotlight on one of Jamaica's first ladies.
So amazing how this world was made. I wonder if God is a woman. The gift of life astounds me to this day. I give it up for the woman.
I, Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica, so help me God.
And with those few words, Portia Simpson Miller became the first female Prime Minister of Jamaica back in March 2006. In February of that year, she also became the first female president of the People's National Party.
So don't you underestimate strength of a woman.
A year later, she lost the 2007 general election, leading to another first, leader of the opposition. In 2011, however, Mrs. Simpson Miller again made history, becoming the first female to be elected head of government twice. A long-serving parliamentarian, the Prime Minister was first elected to represent Southwest St Andrew in Parliament in 1976. Due to the people's confidence in her leadership, she still represents that constituency today. Mrs. Simpson Miller has had a colourful life in politics, having been a vice president of the PNP, also serving as a cabinet minister in various posts, including Minister of Tourism, Local Government, Labour and Sports. Portia Lucretia Simpson Miller, a pioneering female in the field of Jamaican politics.
What a woman. Hey, she'll put a smile upon her face.
Some communities across the island are still experiencing the dry spell. While the National Water Commission continues to provide increased water to the areas affected, we must conserve. Hear how some Jamaicans are doing just that in today's Outer Road.
Fix your pipes, don't let them leak, and recycle, reuse the water.
Make sure that the pipes are not leaking and things like that. And you use what you want, what the amount you want to use. Okay? And that you see that the children them don't waste it.
What I've stopped doing is I'm beginning to recognize that my teeth is just as clean if I don't keep the pipe running while I'm brushing. And I try my best, like if you're somebody who would wash twice a week or 3 times for the week, you try and see if you can consolidate and just do one wash. It's not only conservation, but it is economically the sensible thing to do.
I don't keep the water running while I'm brushing my teeth, stuff like that, yes. In the kitchen while I'm washing plates, I make sure I catch water on one side.
Try to use less unnecessary usage, like stuff that we don't really need that excess of water to do. And at the times when we're in the shower, like taking a bath and we're singing and things, stuff like that, you can cut out that as well and try to do what we're doing more quicker, be more efficient.
Make sure the tap is properly turned off and turn off the tank as well sometime when it's full. And when you're bathing, don't keep the water running when you're soaping up until you're ready to wash off.
There'll be a better tomorrow. 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 There'll be a day. There'll be a way. There'll come a time to sing a brand new song. There'll be a better tomorrow.
That's how we close the pages of Jamaica Magazine today. Join us again on this station, same time tomorrow. Remember to stock up on some hand sanitizers, get some vitamin C tablets and eat some oranges to assist you in dealing with the flu. And remember to send your feedback to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm, plus visit our website, YouTube and social media platforms. On behalf of the entire production team here at the JIS, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.